Jenn Robb, a nurse practitioner, author of Warrior Mom Rising, and founder of Warrior Mom Coaching, has over 20 years of experience in healthcare. She is passionate about empowering moms who are navigating their children's mental health struggles. Her mission is to help moms advocate for healing and transformation, both for themselves and their families, while integrating faith, self-care, and resilience into their journeys. Today, Jenn reminds us to embrace the journey, even when it's messy. You don't have to have it all together to be a warrior for your family, your community, and most importantly, yourself. Your courage to keep showing up, even when it feels impossible, is what makes you stronger. Trust that God is using your story for His glory. There is power in your vulnerability, and victory is on the horizon. Keep pressing forward because He is with you every step of the way. Thank you, Jenn. That is so powerful. Welcome to She Leads Boldly, the podcast for faith-driven women navigating high-stakes leadership without compromising what matters most. I am Sherrika Sanders, your host, mentor, and kingdom business leader. Here, we embrace bold leadership rooted in purpose, not pressure. This space is for the woman who refuses to choose between faith and ambition, family and fulfillment, impact and rest. Each week, you'll hear powerful conversations, practical strategies, and spirit-led wisdom to help you advocate for yourself, lead with integrity, and rise without burnout. If you're ready to lead boldly, live faithfully, and never settle for less than what God has promised, you're in the right place. Thank you, Jenn, for agreeing to be here with us today and speak to a very special, I was going to say part of our audience, but no, I still think it's not just the moms, because aunts, moms, cousins, caretakers, I think it's all of those. But thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Sherrika. I'm glad to be here.
So, first of all, Warrior Mom, I love it. But what I really love about it is that you're not defining a warrior mom as the person who has to be all the things for all the people all the time, wearing her cape, but then wondering why people expect her to be a superwoman. You give your warrior mom grace.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I initially said a particular part of audience, but I think what you do and who you are resonates with so many people, because we care for others in so many different aspects of life and in our relationships. And so I would love to just hear more about how we can still be a warrior mom, whether it's quoted or not, a warrior mom, but while making space for us.
Yeah, so that's like a huge part of like even what I talk about in my book, right? Because I feel like it's universal for women,
Yes.
right? Women, we are all things to all people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, yeah, Warrior Mom, that was born out of the season of like my daughter struggles with mental health, right? And the warrior that I had to kind of step into.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about women and all of the things that we do, right? I mean, we are the moms, but we're grandmothers, we're aunts, we're sisters, we're daughters, we're wives, we're all of these things for everybody, and everybody needs things from us all the time. And I feel like part of it as women, we don't take enough time for us.
Mm-mm.
We don't take enough time to realize that we have to advocate for ourselves, right? We spend so much time advocating for everybody else.
Yeah.
But we don't take that time for us to reflect, to figure out where we're struggling, right? Where we're burnout, so that we can replenish that part of us.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we're empty, how do we pour into everybody else, right? We
Right.
can't.
Can't pour from an empty vessel.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like there's two sides of this. There's the side where you're the responsible one, or you're the oldest, or whatever hat it is you're wearing. And so, because of that, people automatically expect you to fix their things because, oh, you have it together, so you can help me too. And then there's the other side of that where nobody asked you to do that. There's the other side of that where you've taken it upon yourself to say, oh, you know what? My mom needs to go to the doctor and I have to take her. Well, you also have other siblings.
Hmm.
So, no, you don't have to. And I think a big piece of this is really not only setting boundaries, because we talk about setting boundaries, and a lot of times we talk about setting boundaries for other people, but sometimes we need to set them for ourselves and tell ourselves no, or give ourselves a cutoff, or, and it looks like you were going to say something to that.
But remember, no is a complete sentence,
Absolutely.
right? And so we forget that. And I talk about it all the time because I feel like as women, we say no for other people all the time, right?
Yep.
Like, especially as a mother, right? Like,
Yep.
no, you can't go there. No, that's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just like you do for if you're, the oldest sibling or whatever. No, you can't.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem saying no. We have
Mm-mm.
a problem saying no when it becomes and it's pointed to us.
Yeah. When it's
You don't
advantageous for us.
have to
Mm-hmm.
be PTO president and still trying to work, raise your kids, still taking care of elderly parents. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you have to say no, and
Yeah.
that's protecting your own peace, right? Like I feel like we just get so, if we're not doing all of these things, then we feel like we're not worthy, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
we're worth less.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Mm-hmm.
we're not everything to everyone all the time, well, then we must not be worthy.
Yeah.
And we don't give enough time for us to pause,
Yes.
to reset, right? Like resting and pausing, it's not a bad thing. I feel like,
Mm-mm.
and I talk about this like with women all the time. We live in a very much of an Amazon society, right? Like everybody wants everything right now,
Right.
right?
Yep.
It can be shipped in one day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and we have this expectation of ourselves that we have to take care of everything in one day,
Yep.
right? But I
Yep.
mean, like, is it going to matter in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
going to matter if we're rushing around like a crazy person,
Mm-hmm.
all of the things that we've overcommitted ourselves to?
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody going to really remember that in 5 years, right? Or you have been able to have a smidge more peace
Yeah.
if you would have said no to that one extra thing,
Yeah.
right? Because in 5 years, that could have an implication, right?
Yeah.
You'd overextended yourself in this one season. Now 5 years goes by and
Yeah.
you've either missed something completely that was more
Yep.
important,
Yep.
or you're you're worn out, you're beat down, you're exhausted
Mm-hmm.
because you overextended yourself in one season.
Yep. Yep. You're absolutely right. You running around doing all the things, and oh crap, let me reschedule, let me cancel my, doctor's appointment, and I'll just reschedule it. But you keep going, and so you forget and you don't ever reschedule it. And because you missed it, now it's no longer on your calendar, and now time has passed, and you're like, where did this health issue come from? How did this happen? And it,
Mhm.
from that one simple day that you thought you were just doing that one thing because somebody else needed help. And they may have needed help, but that didn't mean they needed your help, or
Yeah.
you had
Or
to be
in
the
that
one.
very instant,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Could you have prioritized you and said,
Yes.
I will love to help you, but I need a day or two,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like for women, we have a hard time saying no when it comes
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
And if you don't take a minute to pause at least a couple of times a week, you're going to run yourself into the ground where you
Mm-hmm.
don't have anything else left. And then you're going to wake up one day and realize that, wow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, then that's
Mm-hmm.
when depression and anxiety and all these other things start to well up in us because
Yep.
we haven't taken a moment for us to just even pause and self-reflect. Like, how am I feeling today?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Or for me, like, what does God want me to know? What is he trying to teach me today? But sometimes we're so busy
Yep.
running and
Yep.
creating chaos in our lives
Yes.
that we can't even hear, right? Like God's voice saying, stop and
Yeah.
just be still.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because as you were speaking, that's where my mind went. So, number one is scriptural. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. So, rest is a commandment, it's in the Bible. And in resting, it's really taking a step back. Even if if you're doing absolutely nothing, then do absolutely nothing. But know that self-care is not selfish. And in that time, that's also how, to your point, you can have that time. You're struggling, your schedule's all over the place. You're like, Lord, I need help. Well, give that time. And now you've given him the space to speak to you. You've given him the space to impart wisdom on you, to think of a more efficient way to do something or call somebody that you probably normally would not have thought of. Oh, crap. I forgot my child. Her best friend, they go to the same school, they go to the same extracurriculars, they go, what if we started a carpool? Things like that to help free up your time and make sure that you're more intentional about how you spend your time and even spending your time with him. And so I think that there's so many answers, and we know that. How many times have we sat and stared at something for the longest of time because we couldn't figure it out, and then we just gave up and walked away, and then it's like it came out of nowhere, that answer that we needed. Or it's like, wait a minute, and you could be doing something completely different, watching a
Mhm.
movie, or just having a random conversation. And so even those are little signs to let us know, like, take a step back. You are important. And something somebody said the other day is, see yourself as God sees you.
Mhm.
Does he see you as the person all over the place running around, tired? Now you're angry, hangry.
Mhm. Frustrated, annoyed.
Yes. And taking it out on everybody else around you because you're operating out of a space that you weren't called to be in. All right, sis, pause for just a moment because what I'm about to share could be the very thing that shifts everything for you. Let's be real for a minute. Too many women are sitting on the sidelines of their own lives waiting for someday. But you know God is calling you higher. That's why I created a way for you to connect with me one-on-one. Now go sign up at Transform the Gap, that's GAAP.com, and then come back. Because this episode is only getting better, and I want you equipped for the next step. See you soon.
And that's just it, right? Like part of the things that I want women to know is that you have intention with everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody else, the kids, the spouse, whatever, you're intentional with.
Yep.
Why are we not intentional with our time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, like people say, well, I don't have money for self-care. I don't have that. Yes, you do.
Yep.
Because self-care doesn't have to be super expensive. Now, listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I love a good spa day, a hair day, a nail day, whatever.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Okay. But it doesn't have to be that. It could
Mm-hmm.
literally be 10 minutes before the kids get up in the morning that you got up earlier to go for just a 10-minute walk. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if it's up and down the driveway,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a moment to just pause,
Yep.
be with yourself, your own thoughts, and just allow God to speak to you in that moment. If it's
Yes.
walking down the driveway and picking a flower off the
Mm-hmm.
side of the road, right? You
Mm-hmm.
think about the beauty that's in that flower,
Yeah.
right? And like I tell women all the time, like, why can't you go out and just pick some flowers for yourself, right? We think about when we get flowers from someone, like it
Yeah.
makes our day, right? It's
Yeah.
beautiful, it's a gift. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You picking a wildflower off the side of the road and bringing it home, right? That
Yep.
brings you joy.
Yep.
And that's kind of how you reset and re-engage because someday there's going to come a day where you're so burnt out
Mm-hmm.
that you are going to be angry.
Yep. Yep.
And I feel like it's better to like be a little more intentional with our time
Mm-hmm.
and to covet that time a little bit more than to wake up and angry. And now we've really got to backtrack all that.
Yeah. And I think too, think about all of these people that you're doing things for, especially those who are younger than you. Think about the impression that you're setting for them, the example that you're setting for them. Because if they see you all over, then it's like, okay, so that's what I'm supposed to do when I'm in this space. And we all know if we were to see our own loved ones doing the things that we are doing to ourselves, we would stop them in their tracks. We would do anything that we can to tell them to slow down, to take a step back. But yet we don't do it for ourselves. There's a park that's probably 10, 15 minutes from my house. And it has a walking trail and a couple of other things, exercise equipment, all this stuff. I like to go there to work out. But the other day I went the other morning and there was this lady there on roller skates. And that's all she did. She just rolled around. She had on her headphones. And yes, she was getting her exercise, but you could tell she had taken something that she obviously likes to do
Hmm.
and made it work for her. Free activity. She didn't spend a dime. She put on her headphones, put on her skates, and when she got tired, she sat down. She would sit down on one of the benches for a while, and then she'll get back up and go. But I thought, and it wasn't even me, but just watching her do that, I felt relief for her because you could tell it was just something that she enjoyed. She didn't have to think about it. She was allowed to let her mind just do whatever it wanted to do at that time. And but also she was caring for herself and
Hmm.
putting herself first. And for whatever reason, we've gotten in this mindset of, caring for you is being selfish and not thinking about others. And if we're not go, 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 like we need to go to be applauded and recognized. We have to do all the things so people know, to your point that you made earlier, that I'm worthy, that I have value. Your value is not based on how many things you can check off your to-do list.
Your value should be rooted in who you are as a daughter of the king,
Absolutely.
right? Like that is where your true value comes from.
Absolutely.
The world standards has become so much about you got to do this, you got to have this, you got to look a certain way, you got to do all this, but that's not where value comes from,
Mm-mm.
right? And when you
Mm-mm.
think about that lady that's roller skating, right? She's doing something that brings her joy.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I'm like, I hate roller skating. Like I can barely stand up, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Yeah.
for her, that brings her joy.
Yeah.
And it was with intention that she took those few minutes to
Yep.
go and do that, right?
Yep.
Because now not only is she caring for herself and making time for herself, but she's doing something that doesn't that yes, it's physical, but it doesn't have to be so hard that it's like you hate
Yeah.
like working out, right? Because
Yeah.
she's just doing
Yeah.
that and then she's releasing endorphins and all these good things
Mm-hmm.
in her body to take care of herself. She's
Yep.
she's taking care of her health and her wellness,
Yes.
mentally, physically, and emotionally, right?
Yes.
Which is the things that I think we forget. We're like, oh, well, I'll go to the gym,
Yeah.
but I got to cram it in this 10 minutes or this 15 minutes that I have to go to the gym, but I got
Mm-hmm.
to hurry and work through it. Well, like you haven't really relaxed or released any of that stress, right? Because you're
Yeah.
such a stress to like move on to the next task.
Uh-huh. Yeah. When we put it, putting our worth in things, it's not, things can be taken away.
Mhm.
So if you put your worth in things and then those things are taken away, you put your worth in a title and then you no longer have that job, you're now feelings of worthlessness. So if it can be taken away from you, number one, that means that your value is not attached to that. If anything, we give those things value. They don't give us value. Your worth can't be taken away from you. Who you are in Christ cannot, no one can take that away from you. And sometimes I do think we think, oh, if I don't have all of these things, if I'm not doing the same thing as the Joneses, as they say, the
Mhm.
grass is always greener. If I don't have this car, if I'm not in this circle, if I'm not doing what these other people are doing, then I have no value. Well, no, because your value doesn't lie in that. Your value lies in who you is, and no one can take your knowledge from you. No one can take who you are and how God sees you, how
Mm,
he sees you. And just even thinking about that, the way that he sees you, we can't even see ourselves as good as the way that he sees us.
mm,
And but we get so caught up in what will they think? What will
mm.
they think if I say no? What will they think if I don't show up? What will they think if I let my child get on the bus instead of sitting in that car rider line for an hour and a half just to
Mm.
make sure I can get, like, who cares? What does any of those opinions have anything to do with where you end up?
I just think that's like a hard thing for women in general,
Yeah,
right? Because women, we're naturally like caretakers and like caregivers, and so
yeah,
I think we instinctually kind of care what other people think.
yeah.
But one of the most freeing things that you can do is say, I'm going to do what I can do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to say no to the rest,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because now you've taken and released some of the pressure to keep up with the Joneses or the
Yep.
Smiths, right? You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yep.
you've allowed that. And if you allow God to come in and say, rest in me, be still with me,
Mm-hmm.
then and then you can release some of the extra stress and the burdens to Him. Let
Mm-hmm.
Him carry it for you,
Yep.
right? And there's just freedom in that. And then you can set a little more time, I think, to be intentional with your time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why so many people like, and it really bugs me when women say, well, self-care is selfish. Like it's not though.
It's
Like
not.
I love how you roll your eyes because that's exactly what I was like, oh my gosh, right? You know what I mean? Like just take time for you
Yeah.
because you matter,
Yep.
right? That's the
Yep.
thing is right. We forget that we matter as women.
Yes.
You matter. So give yourself 10, 15 minutes of time. And there's always time in a day. Again, it
Always.
comes back to intention
Yes.
and making yourself a priority,
Yes.
right? Whether it's 15 minutes before the kids get up
Yeah.
or 15 minutes, after they go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
right? There is time or nap time during the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is time if you make time. But if you're constantly with the excuse like I don't have time, that's on you.
You know what? And you said that. So I remember before my husband and I were married and we went to premarital counseling, and one of my gripes was that he came home every day and took a nap. And I was like we're full grown adults. Why do you need to take a nap every single day? And and it wouldn't be long, it may be 20 minutes or so, but it just irked me to my soul. And so the pastor who was on our counseling, he was like, but what's wrong with it? And I was like, because I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it. And, I did realize in the grand scheme of thing and about choosing your battles and who cares. So, yep, he would come home, take his nap, and it made him more available and alert and ready for whatever else we had going on as a family for the rest of the day. But I remember one day I was so sleepy and I was like, why don't you just take a nap? Like, why can't you take a nap? You've given him that freedom. You're okay with him. And that's his thing. Every day he can come home and have his time, but you're tired, but you feel like I have to be doing something. I can't lay down. I can't take that time. And it was like, why not? And it was so weird. The first time I think I ever did take, for me, it was like a midday nap and I'm like, I'm not hungry. Go lay down, take my nap for my lunch break. And I remember first doing that. And it was almost like I laid down, like, is anybody going to see me? Like, who's watching? Like, and I remember even talking to a friend of mine recently, and she was like, the same thing. She was like, I was so tired. And she said her husband was like, well, then go take a nap. And she was like, what? Well, really? But it's something so simple, so, so simple.
But
But
everything that you're talking about is so self-imposed,
yeah,
right? Like it was
yeah,
never like your husband, like, well, you can't take a nap,
right,
right?
right,
Like,
right.
and then because we're women and we are emotional beings, right? Then we have
Mm-hmm.
guilt and we have shame for taking
Mm-hmm.
care of us,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
But nowhere does it say you shouldn't take care of yourself if you're a
Mm-mm.
woman,
Mm-mm.
right?
No.
Like that's what you need. If you need a 30-minute nap so that you can wake up and continue to pour into everybody
Right.
else,
Right.
it's like we forget that because when we run ourselves ragged, right, in all of the different directions that we go, that takes a
Mm-hmm.
physical toll, but we don't even talk about the emotional or the mental toll that it takes on us, right?
Right.
The
Exactly.
amount of brain bandwidth that it takes to be all of these things to all of these people all of the time,
Huh?
right?
Huh?
And it just, if you let it and you don't have intentional time for you, it will suck the life out of you.
Yep. Yeah.
And then, but to me, it comes back to like, have you ever seen like when you look at a woman, you can kind of tell like where she is, like emotionally and
Yeah.
mentally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the women that are kind of, they light up, they kind of just have a glow about them, right? Probably because they take time for themselves.
Yeah.
But the women that look worn and ragged, like they've been like busted up,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because they feel busted up.
Right.
And it's like if you want to have that light about you that as a daughter in Christ we should have, right? To carry out his mission in the world,
Yeah.
got to take care of yourself. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to give yourself the grace
Yeah. The
to
woman. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
to rest, to pause, give yourself the grace and the permission to
Yeah.
do that without guilt, without shame.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, like in your example, the woman who you look at and you're like, oh, you just came from work, like you, because you look like you have done something that has taken all of your energy. So yeah, you must have just come from work or, whatever. You're absolutely right. And I think you hit on a great point when you said that about all of those things were self-imposed. Nobody said that. And sometimes we're so fearful of what other people will think when they're probably like, I was wondering when you were going to slow down. I was wondering when you were going to calm down, when you were going to take some rest, take some time. And but we're like, oh, what's going to happen if we're not there? They're going to do it themselves, or they're going to figure it out, or they're going to go. It like the world will continue to,
Correct. And that's just it. The world's going to keep moving,
yeah,
whether you're moving at light speed
right,
or you're moving at a much, much slower pace, right? The world is going to keep turning. I just
absolutely.
don't like know how that ever became a thing to think that self-care is selfish, right? Everybody else in your life takes a minute for self-care of some kind. It may be your kid
Mm-hmm.
playing video games or
Mm-hmm.
your husband taking a nap or going to play a round of golf or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? They don't have any problem saying, I'm out.
Mm-mm. And have you seen there? I've seen so many things now that we're in this time of year, so many things at the start of football season, like, these little jokes, letters. My husband gave me this letter and it said, football season is starting, so I won't be available these days. Like all of these different things. And we laugh and we even say, oh, we already know that, this is whatever season and they're going to do this. And so, yeah, leave them alone. Or I know they won't be available, but we won't do that for ourselves. We won't tell ourselves, you know what? Sunday afternoons are my time. I'm not whatever you need from me, I am unavailable. And setting those, that's why I say like not only setting those
Boundaries.
boundaries for ourselves, because telling ourselves, because we'll set the boundary and we'll tell other people, but then we'll still go and do the thing and then get mad at everybody else because we went against what we said we were going to do.
But if women don't advocate for themselves, nobody else is going to advocate for you,
Nope. Nope.
right? Your husband's not going to be like, hey, leave mom alone,
Mm-mm.
right?
Mm-mm.
They're not going to do that. The only one that's going to advocate for us is us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to find that voice within you. And again, it doesn't have to be expensive or you don't have to be gone for days on end or hours on
Nope.
end.
Nope.
It's literally making smaller tweaks in your life,
Yep.
setting 10 or 15 minutes, starting with once or twice a week, and then
Mhm.
increasing that time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
He doesn't have to. I mean, and I think that that's where we get hung up because I think what women feel like the big picture is like self-care is like what we see on social media.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that social media I mean, it can be a lie, right? People are
Right.
painting the most
Right.
perfect picture, right?
Exactly.
They got to go to the best spa, in their hometown for 8 hours. That's really not real life, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
don't fall into the trap of comparison on social media
Yeah.
because, Jane spent 8 hours at a spa
Hmm.
and she feels rejuvenated. But you could have just simply walked out of your house or taken a warm bath
Yep.
to rejuvenate your soul, and you would have come out just as refreshed as her.
Hmm.
Right. So, like, I feel
Hmm.
like as women, we not only no one's going to advocate for us, but then we also are our
Yep.
worst enemy, because then we look at everybody else thinking they have it all together, but they don't either.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's okay to say I am not okay.
It is 100%. And it's
And
okay to ask for help.
absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't
And
make you weak
expect
or
it.
less of a mom or
Yes.
less of a woman
Yep.
because you need help from someone, be it your spouse or another woman, a friend, a sister, a
Hmm.
mom. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. And then I think about that, like kind of what you said earlier, like what behaviors are you modeling for those that are under you,
Yes.
right? Your
Yes.
children, nieces, nephews, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
What behaviors are you modeling? Like one of the
Hmm.
things that like I look at my daughter, I mean, I have two boys and then I have her. I want her to be fierce and independent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I also want her to know her own worth and her own value
Yep.
so that someone can't come in and take that from her,
Yeah.
right? And I want her to know that it's okay to make time for you.
Yep. E- So same, three. It's my daughter and then my two boys. And I remember one day my daughter was or maybe getting something out of the car. I don't remember doing something. And I was like, why don't you ask for help? Was that one of your brothers to grab? And she's like, I'm an independent woman. And I was like, well, independent women ask for help. And in that moment, I was like, okay, where do we need to adjust your thinking, or what is it that you see I'm doing where you feel like it makes you less of an independent woman, quote unquote, to ask for help?
Mhm.
And that to me was a look into my own self to say, okay, where are some changes and what are some things I can be more intentional about so that she understands that you can be independent, you can be strong, you can be fierce, but you can also say, I need help. And that is okay. It doesn't
And
take
that is
anything away from
so,
you.
so poignant, right? Because somewhere along the lines,
Yep.
we feel like it's an all or nothing
Yep.
thing,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
to be independent
Mm-hmm.
and strong and fierce,
Mm-hmm.
that means you can't ask for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But we've gotten our wires crossed.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, the best leaders and the strongest leaders, they know how to say, all right, I'm stuck and I need
Yep.
help,
Yep.
right?
A team.
A team, right? Like
Uh-huh.
God made us to be community with each other,
Yes. Yep.
right?
Yep.
He made man and woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? He didn't
Mm-hmm.
make just a woman to do it all
Right.
by herself.
Right. Right.
And so somehow in that we've gotten our wires crossed that says to be independent, we have to do it alone. And that is not true. We are stronger when we're together.
Yep.
Right. And like the thing I love about it is like, Sherrika, you have strong suits. I have strong suits. But what if we could merge those strong suits?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because now we're collaborating and we're working together and we're
Right.
helping lift each other up.
Each up. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. And what you have is your unique personality, and what I have. That's why I say, like, we all so often fall into this comparison game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And as women, we want to beat down another woman.
Yep. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Just
I-
because you can run a three-ring circus doesn't mean that you're stronger or more independent than the one who wants to have, just a petting zoo,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's
I
no point, there's no need to tear each other down.
none at all. And honestly, I think we could probably go on with this for another hour because what we're saying is so true. And I know we had to, as the saying goes, stepped on some toes with the people that were listening. And I hope we did because no one wants what did somebody say to me recently? I'd rather be seen than viewed.
Mhm.
Well, you'd rather be seen as independent, seen as smart, seen as discerning, seen as prioritizing yourself than viewed and people talking about if only, because we all have all the answers after the fact, right? Hindsight
Right.
is 2020. And so I appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate the warrior mindset and understanding that a warrior can ask for help and a warrior has strength in so many different ways, but a warrior does not mean I have to be everything for everybody all the time. And I will make sure that your contact information is included. I would love for you all to connect with Jenn, connect with this warrior mom who is there to help you understand how to navigate. Because we've said a lot of great things, but you may be saying, well, how do I get to that? Well, here we go. We have Jenn here. So we're going to make sure that Jenn's contact information is included. Any final words of wisdom?
I think the one thing I would say is to that last point, right? When you think about warriors, right, like on a battlefield, they're not alone.
Mm-mm.
They are locked arms with other warriors on that battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
right? God calls us to put our battle armor every day, but he doesn't say that you're doing it alone,
Yeah.
right? He is there. And so why not as women, as the caregivers, the independent, fierce, strong women that we are in our own different ways, lock arms and then we can rise together, right? We
Mm-hmm.
can fight the battles together.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that you're not alone,
You're not alone.
right? That there are other women who want to support you, cheer you on, and advocate alongside you.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. And I think just the main point to remember, you are not alone. That is something we all need to remember. We're not in this by ourselves. It's not just us. So thank you again, Jenn. I so appreciate you for coming in, speaking to us, and just, I feel like I get fed, so to speak, just as much as those listening, because often, even sometimes we know, but we need those gentle reminders. And so thank you for being that reminder for those who needed it and that wisdom for those who didn't have it. And so as always, until next time.
Yes. Yes.
Hey friend, if this episode stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Make sure you subscribe to She Leads Boldly so you never miss an episode. And let's stay connected. Join our growing community of faith-driven powerhouse women where you'll find real talk, encouragement, and tools to fuel your journey. Oh, and I've created something special just for the bold, faith-driven women like you. An ebook, When You Know His Name. Discover identity, intimacy, and the power of prayer through the names of God. This ebook is designed to equip and encourage you to lead with clarity, courage, and conviction in every space God assigns you to. Available now on Amazon. And if you're ready for deeper clarity, I would love to personally walk with you. I offer a one-on-one session called Your Path to Purpose and Power, and it's to help you break through the overwhelm and realign with what God is actually calling you to in this season. Whether it's burnout, boundaries, or fresh vision, you don't have to figure it out alone. All links are in the show notes. Oh, and one last thing. I would love to hear from you. What questions are you carrying this season? What topics would serve your walk, your work, your womanhood right now? Send me a message or an email because this podcast is for you, and I want every episode to speak directly to where you are. Remember, you don't have to choose between your faith, your family, and the calling on your life. God's grace makes room for it all. So until next time, stay anchored in purpose, covered in grace, and always ready to rise. Talk soon, friend.